Hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good afternoon, good evening, for those of you that are across the world from me, and good morning for those of you that are just waking up and tuning in. I am so excited because today I am going to share with you some of the things that I have been extremely passionate about for many years now, and the things that I would be willing to bet that my family is sick and tired of hearing. However, there is a reason. There's good reasons why I am passionate about the things I am, just as you probably are about the things you are passionate about. This has been a really huge journey for me. This has been a journey of um, self-exploration and self-help, and taking my body, my mind, and my soul from being very, very sick 10 years ago to where and what I am now. So before we get started, this is the truth about probiotics and supplements. Um, Before we truly get started, though, I want you to know I am so very happy that you have decided to take this journey with me. I want to take a few moments here and express my gratitude and acknowledge each and every one of you who are here with me today. With you here by my side and learning from me, you help me complete part of my life's purpose. So without you, my life's path and purpose would be non-existent. So before I go any further, let me tell you that there are times during my live broadcasts where my dog, who's a little miniature a dachshund, little wiener dog, he sees his shadow, or for whatever reason feels he needs to protect mama. So sometimes he may bark in the background, and if he does, I greatly sincerely apologize. I will get him to stop as soon as possible if he does that. But for right now, he is on my lap sleeping, so I don't think we have to worry about that. So for those of you that are absolutely brand new to me, I would like to introduce myself. Let me formally introduce myself. Who is the holistic healer? Well, my name is Becky Joe, and I am a certified intuitive master herbalist. I am a certified master clinical aromatherapist. I am a Reiki master. I am a light worker and an energy healer and a medical medium. I am a reverend, a friend, a hypnotherapist, an abundance coach, a spiritual counselor. Um, the list goes on and on. I am forever a student in life. That will never change. Um, I I love learning. I love adding to the things that I can do to help other people. So a little bit about my history. I've been seeing, hearing, and knowing since I was born. Um, I had a spiritual awakening about 6 years ago, which led me to realize who I am and why I'm here. So, with that spiritual awakening, it led me to see and know clearly what my life's path and purpose was, which is to heal and guide others to their life's path and purpose. Okay. Um, Another part of my life's purpose is to be a keeper of children, to be a guardian of the children, and to be an advocate for the children. That is something that I am also very passionate about. So, since I began to live my awakened life, I've developed my relationship with the divine very, very well. I am tapped in and tuned in and turned on and aligned with higher power. And in saying that, um, a lot of these webinars, a lot of the teachings that I do are based on guidance that I received that I share with others, that I am just the messenger to, okay? So my history is this. Long story short, I was very, very sick at a young age. I had a degree in pharmacy as a young woman, and I worked pushing these medicines and vitamins on other people for years because it's what I learned and it's what I knew. Excuse me. I was very passionate about healthcare back then. I was very passionate about helping people get better. But what I didn't realize was, although there is a time and place for everything, and I very much absolutely do not have a problem with pharmaceutical medicine. So let's just get that squared away right there. I very, very much realize and understand that there's more pieces to the puzzle than that, okay? So with that being said, when I got to the point where I was in my late 20s and I was very sick, I walked with a cane. I could barely get out of bed in the morning without help. I knew that when the doctors were telling me within 5 years I would be completely in a wheelchair, life over, end of story. And I knew that I had the strength and I had the passion inside me to not go down like that. And I was not going to go down like that. So that started my journey into, I'd always been a gardener. I'd always loved plants. I grew up on a farm where my parents had a produce stand. And in fact, they had several of them. And I grew up around fresh fruits and vegetables. And, boy, if I would have appreciated them now, like I do now, I probably wouldn't have been sick. Well, partially. But with that being said, I took what I knew with my gardening and my green thumb and decided to start doing research on, like, what plants can help me, what herbs can help me, what can I do to help myself, because I was literally at a dead end. So I started making a few little things for myself that, I did the research and bought the books and went and bought herb Bibles and all that stuff. And a few things I made for myself started to work really well, and I started to feel a lot better. And one thing leads to another, leads to another. Next thing I know, I am making a few things for friends and family. And then next thing I know, I went back to school to become a master herbalist. And, then extended into aromatherapy and all that. Okay. So I grow all of my own herbs organically, never ever any chemicals in anything. I use my herbs to make medicines. I use my herbs to distill essential oils. I use all of it along with energy work to help others heal, okay, including myself. I was my #1 patient. I still am and always will be. But I have to tell you, I took myself from the end of the road to a whole new beginning, okay? I have not walked with a cane in 5 years. Yay. So I just wanted you to know a little bit of my background so you know and understand why I'm so passionate about health. I am so passionate about eating healthy. I am so passionate about herbs, essential oils, and doggone it, if you're not going to eat right and you decide you're going to do supplements instead, I want to make sure that you know what you are buying. I hate to see folks wasting their money. I hate to see folks making themselves sicker when you're trying to help yourself. And I really, really hate to see folks that are destroying their bodies and their immune systems. Okay. So with that said, let's get started here. So first of all, first things first, let's talk about vitamins. Okay. So as we all know and are aware, um, vitamins are in foods that we eat, right? They are in, fruits and vegetables and, um, milk, dairy, whatever. Um, when we eat a good, wholesome, whole food, raw diet, um, we absolutely do not need to take any kind of vitamins and supplements of any kind for normally, okay? The normal average person doesn't. However, the problem is that first of all, nowadays, we unfortunately, it's really, really hard to find foods out there nowadays that are not full of chemicals. Um, a lot of people cannot afford to eat a whole food, organic raw diet. So a lot of us are too busy too, simply just too busy, right? So we go and we see online or we see on TV or we hear from a friend of a friend of a friend that, they're taking this vitamin or they're taking this supplement, or did you hear about this probiotic, or this is what we should be taking, or that's what should be taken. And then they'll say on the news, take extra vitamin D or vitamin C or vitamin E or whatever the heck it is that's being sold in the media or whatever at the time. And people think they're doing themselves a favor, and we go out to our local grocery store or our local Walmart or wherever it is that we buy these types of things. We go to the local supermarket and or the drugstore or even to the health food stores, right? And we think that these vitamins and minerals that we buy in the health food stores, are in some way going to be high quality and help ourselves out, right? So we spend this big money on them, and we just assume that the ones in the supermarket or the drugstore are just as good as, anything else. Well, funny enough, here's the thing. None of them are good for you, okay? Especially not over the long term. They are not. Yes, I'm making a very bold statement today, okay? And here's why. 95%, and I'm not kidding you when I say 95% of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that you can buy at the quote unquote health food stores, and close to 100% of those sold in stores such as your local grocery stores are made by the same few pharmaceutical and chemical companies who supply them to most all of the vitamin mineral companies. So it's like they're mostly all being made in the same factories. And then, it spreads on down the line, and this company contracts with this company, and this company contracts with this company, and then this and this, and down the line to the smaller brands. Kind of like with a lot of things, toilet paper, whatever, a lot of stuff is, it's the same thing made on the same assembly line. So some of the stuff that you buy is, you're paying the top dollar for the top name, and they're all junk. Okay. So I know people don't like to hear this. So not anymore. Like back when nutritional supplements first came out, they were legit, wanting to help people, but it's gotten out of hand. And now people are trying to, imagine this, make money off of you. So the drug companies who realized some years ago that the best way to handle the threats in society of people becoming more aware of eating healthier to become healthier, right? We learned and figured this out probably in the 50s and 60s, like, wow, if we eat a whole food diet, we're healthy. We don't need to do anything else but eat a good diet. Well, these companies that make millions off of everyone, yeah, they decided that they didn't like that threat of the people getting better through real nutrition. So what are they going to do? They quietly took over the nutrition business. And now they are profiting from those of us, not me anymore, but I used to be, that are not educated on what we're putting into our bodies. Okay. So, for example, some people tend to assume that like vitamin C from one brand is pretty much the same as vitamin C from another brand. And in many cases, yep, you're right. Vitamin C came from the same original supplier. But what most people don't realize is that these vitamins and minerals are not true and complete vitamins and minerals as would be supplied by good organically grown whole foods, right? But are in fact chemical synthetics made from such things, and I'm not lying to you, you can look this up, as coal tar, petroleum, animal byproducts, waste and fecal matter, yes, it's true, ground rocks, stones, shells, and even sometimes metal, you guys, metal. So, not only do they not supply the benefits of real vitamins and minerals, but they can actually be quite harmful to you when they're taken over time, especially in the mega doses that are so often recommended. Real vitamins only require very minute doses to be effective, okay? And many so-called natural vitamins are made from horrible substances, you guys. Here's some examples. All of the vitamin B12 on the market is made from either ground up toxic cow liver or activated sewage sludge. These cow livers are overloaded with steroids and antibiotics, and the pesticides the cow eats and takes in while eating. The sewage sludge is just that. It's fecal matter. Oh, I'm getting sick saying this. With the environment, today's environment of depressed immune diseases, I can think of hundreds of reasons that these materials would be a health risk, not a benefit, can't you? Just because a so-called natural substance is high in a particular vitamin, does that mean it's a good food? I don't know. You tell me. So, let's look at vitamin C as an example. People buy vitamin C as ascorbic acid, right? But ascorbic acid is not vitamin C. It's not. And when I was in pharmacy school, I was taught that ascorbic acid is vitamin C. And when people would come into my pharmacy where I was working and ask for a vitamin C, I'd be like, oh yeah, ascorbic acid, that's vitamin C. And that's what I was taught. And I didn't know any better. But here's the problem. It is a man-made form of vitamin C. So when it's taken by itself, it can be quite irritating to the lining of the digestive tract. Complete vitamin C is composed of many, many cofactors, such as rutin, bioflavonoids, factor K, factor J, factor P. It has ascorbic acid in it and other components, but each of these is vital to the complete biological activity that enables the vitamin C to function fully. Ascorbic acid is only a very, very small, teeny tiny fraction of naturally occurring vitamin C. So you go to the store and you want to buy vitamin C and you buy it and it says on the bottle ascorbic acid. it's either not going to help you at all, or it might help you a little bit. But here's the problem. Along with these vitamins that are not really vitamins and minerals, we have a little issue of additives and preservatives that are in our supplements that we buy. It makes me very, very sad that nowadays, our vitamins are so full of stuff that people don't understand, okay? So let's talk about synthetic vitamins. Before I get into the yucky stuff that's added, let's talk about synthetic vitamins first here, okay? So there's a big difference between the natural vitamins found in food and the so-called vitamins that are added to the popular dietary supplements. So whole food-based vitamins are uniquely like bioavailable. They're alive, they have frequency, they have energy, right? When stuff is grown in nature, it's energetic, it's vibrational, right? So when we eat whole foods that are raw, we're getting that energy, that vibration that flows through us, right? Even if some of these vitamins we take started out to be real food at one time, now after it goes through a factory and it is processed and has synthetic things added to it, do you think that maybe it's not going to be vibrational anymore by the time it's done, right? And in addition, when they're processing that, they're isolating the vitamins, okay? And when vitamins are isolated, they are missing all of the naturally occurring essential synergistic cofactors and transporters, which means any of the energy that had, the vibration that it had to help your body is gone. It's done. It's dead. It's a wash. It's a wrap. Okay. So not only are we getting something that is synthetic, something that is literally not going to do anything for us, we need to know, what to look for so that we are getting vitamins and supplements that are real deal. Okay, and I'm going to tell you that in a minute, which ones to look for. But let's get into these additives that are added into our vitamins. Okay, so one of them is, hang on one second. Okay, so things that are added to our supplements. Magnesium stearate. This is a huge, huge controversial thing. I'll tell you, I argue with people all the time about it. People that are in the pyramid companies that like to sell their little supplements will argue with me about magnesium stearate. Okay, what is magnesium stearate? It's also called stearic acid. The purpose of magnesium stearate is it's the most common ingredient used in like forming tablets, okay, like the tablets and versus capsules, okay. It is a famous lubricant. It's known as a flow agent. It helps speed up the manufacturing process because it prevents ingredients from sticking to the mechanical equipment. Okay, great. That helps you make your supplements faster. Wonderful. Good for you. I'll give you props. You manufactured it fast, right? However, it also can make the human body very, very toxic, okay? The bottom line is, like most fillers and bulk additives, magnesium stearate is not healthy in high doses. Some people will argue with me that it actually, helps the body digest and absorb the vitamins and minerals that are in supplements. Well, from my experience and what I have learned about it, it does not. It actually sticks in the body and does not get digested. Our body does not recognize it as food because it's not food. None of these fillers, none of these additives, they are not food. Our brain, our body does not recognize it. The same thing with monosodium glutamate, MSG, which is sometimes disguised as natural flavors. Carnauba wax is used in supplements. You'll find that on the label. I'm here to tell you that is also used to make car wax and shoe polish. Do you really want that in your body? I don't think so. Okay, another one is titanium dioxide. That's a carcinogen, you guys. Yuck. And we're putting these things in our bodies, like it's yucky. It's very, very, very yucky. So let me tell you a personal story that I have with magnesium stearate, okay? When I was going through herbal medicine school, as with any other schooling, you have to do clinicals. And during my clinicals, I had to do 15 cases. I had to give 15 people a free consultation. Then I had to write up a medical plan for them. And then I had to, make the medicines, treat them, follow up, do the whole kit and caboodle, right? So my third client that I ever helped came to me with the worst case of eczema I have ever seen in my entire life. Now, with the education that I had, I knew that eczema usually, most likely, comes from toxins in the kidneys and the livers. Now, not always, but a good majority of the cases I have seen and worked with, that is true. So, I asked this client, could you please, when you come for your consult with me, would you please bring me a list of all of the medicines you're taking from the doctor, all of the supplements you're taking from, wherever you buy supplements from, anything that you're putting into your body, diet, everything. I need a list. I need to know. I want to know what you are putting in your body. Okay. So she emails me a list the night before she comes to her appointment with me. And I was very surprised to see that she was on about 12 different supplements that she was just buying at her local, Walmart or wherever. Okay. And not only was she doing that, but this woman had the idea that in order to feel better or whatever it was she was trying to accomplish, this was somebody that thought more equaled more. So for every supplement where it told her on the bottle to take 2, she was taking 4. And she was taking them 3 or 4 times a day. Okay. So when I read this and I went, holy cow. At that point, I didn't know a lot about supplements. I didn't know much at all. I hadn't done any research. I hadn't done any studying, but this was when I opened the door and opened my eyes to look into it. So I started my research. And every single supplement she was taking had magnesium stearate in it. That was the only ingredient that was in every single one. Okay. Some of the other ones, you know, like a majority of them had this or that, or, you know, but because that was the one ingredient that was in every single one, I thought, like Blue's Clues, a clue, a clue, a clue, right? So I started researching magnesium stearate and what it was. Well, when I read what I read and I saw what I saw and I realized what I realized, I told her, if I were you, I would stop those supplements. Do not put those in your body anymore, because I think they are making you toxic. They're making your body toxic. Okay. So she did. So she stops taking them, and then came to see me, and we, you know, sat down, whatever. And, you know, I made her a little cream to put on her sores, and I made her a little detox, and, you know, whatever it is that I did for her. And we, you know, we cleansed her body, and she got on a, you know, a good whole food diet for a week or two. And I am not kidding you. Within 4 days, this woman had not one sign of eczema anywhere on her body. Not one. Now, because I can't legally say cure, I'll say this. I truly believe this woman got better just from getting magnesium stearate out of her body. Now, that was a personal experience that I experienced, and I am very, very passionate. And since that day, I am on a mission to help anybody that will listen get only good things in their bodies. Okay. So let's as to not go on and on and on and bore you, because not everybody's as passionate about this as I am. But here's the thing. You need to look for clues on your vitamin label that offer insight on the origin of the vitamins. Okay. Let's make sure and get a pen and paper and write this down, you guys. If you are buying vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin E, whatever it is, there's real and there's synthetic forms. Okay, so for vitamin A, if it says on the ingredient label retinol palmitate, that is a synthetic form of vitamin A. Stay away from it. Vitamin B1, thiamine monotrite, thiamine hydrochloride, synthetic. Stay away. For B2, riboflavin, stay away. Panthetic acid, if it says calcium D-pantothenate, stay away. Vitamin B12, cyanocobalamin, stay away. Folic acid, it's petroglutamic acid, is a synthetic form, stay away. Like I said, vitamin C, if it just says ascorbic acid, stay away. And any of the vitamins that have a dye DI in the ingredient list. It's a DI and then a dash and then a word that you can't pronounce. That is an absolute synthetic. Anything that says dye in any vitamin is synthetic, okay? So you want to stay away from that. One of the things that I typically recommend to people is, a lot of people are like, well, synthetic isn't that big of a deal, right? A lot of this is up for debate, you guys. I'm giving you my personal take on this today, okay? In my opinion, a healthy organic diet should provide a good amount of nutrients that the body needs. You will not need all these supplements, okay? But supplements can definitely help ensure that we are getting a healthy serving of specific vitamins if we need them. The problem is that many of the vitamin mineral supplements that are manufactured synthetically have added chemicals, like I said, and they just either that or they do not come straight from natural sources. They are made to mimic the way natural vitamins act in our bodies, but they're chemically made that way, right? So the natural vitamins, if you take natural ones, those are derived directly from plant material containing the vitamin, not produced in a test tube. That's the difference, okay? So many of the synthetic vitamins lack the transporters that it takes, that naturally occurring vitamins have, because they've been, quote unquote, isolated, okay? And like I said earlier, the isolation takes away the vibration, it takes away the frequency, it takes away, any of the good naturally occurring energy in it. So, it's, people say, what's the big deal? And I'm here to tell you, synthetic versions of these vitamins contain chemical compounds that are absolutely not meant for human consumption, and they do not occur in nature. Now, evolution has dictated that we eat foods that we gather from the earth, right? And not the food that we create in a lab, right? Like, this is, our bodies are made and meant to eat foods from nature, plants. When it's made in a test tube and it's made in a lab and it doesn't have the vibration, we're vibrational beings, you guys. Our bodies do not recognize it as food. And what happens is, we don't know what to do with it. Our body doesn't know what to do with it. It cannot be absorbed. Therefore, it sits wherever it sits. Maybe it goes to the stomach and the stomach's like, well, I don't know what to do with it, so I'll send it to the liver. And then the liver gets it and goes, well, I don't know what to do with it. I'm going to send it to the kidneys. And the kidneys get it and they go, well, I don't know what to do with it. Maybe I'll send it back to the stomach. And the stomach's like, I already had this and I already tried to break it down. I don't know what to do with it. Here, intestines, you take it. And the intestines go, well, I don't know what to do with it. I guess I'll just leave it sit here until something happens to it. And then in the meantime, that keeps happening and keeps happening, and the stuff keeps building and building and building in your body. And then eventually your brain goes, wait a minute, stop, you guys. We need to flush out. We need to flush out. We need to get rid of this. Like, we're full. So your body, your brain, your chemicals in your body go, okay, well, if we can't poop or pee this out, then it's got to go up through the skin. There's no other way. So it's either going to come out in your sweat, and your sweat will smell terrible, or it's going to come out as eczema or acne, which is usually most of the time what happens. It comes out through rashes in the skin, you guys. And it has to leave the body somehow. Do you understand that when we're putting these things in our body that our body does not know how to digest, we are making ourselves sick. Sick. Absolutely sick. And not only that, but we're interrupting the rhythms and the vibrations of our bodies. We're interrupting that. I cannot stress that enough. The problem is when our bodies don't actually use those synthetic forms, we excrete it. We have to excrete it, usually through the skin. But, you know, this applies only to vitamins, not amino acids or sugars. Now, fat soluble vitamins in their synthetic form are especially dangerous because they can build up in your fatty tissues and really cause toxicity, you guys. Cancer. That's the reason that the synthetic form is more dangerous, is because you get a high concentrated serving of the vitamin, which isn't even a real vitamin, rather than the amount you would get from a food-based form. Your body doesn't know how to produce it. Your body doesn't know what to do with it. And I am really passionate about you guys not being sick. Okay? Now, fat-soluble vitamins are found naturally, you know, the fat-soluble vitamins, like, you know, your omegas and those things that you need. A lot of us are on those. I even take the omegas because I struggle with inflammation. So how do we get those in nature without taking these supplements? Through butter, through fish oil, through nuts, through green leafy vegetables. And I'll tell you, green leafy vegetables that do not have chemicals on them are the best thing for the human body ever, ever, ever given to us by God. The more you eat, the better you will feel. But the excess of the fat soluble vitamins are stored in the liver and the fatty tissues. Okay, so most people do not get sufficient amounts of fat soluble vitamins from their diet. So sometimes you do need to take a supplement when it comes to that, like the omegas and stuff. But we need to make sure that we're taking an extract or a liquid form of the vitamins, you guys. Okay, Gaia Herbs is a company, Gaia, Gaia, Gaia Herbs. All of their supplements are 100% whole food, good, straight, as close to nature as it gets. No yuck, no yuck, no yuck. I absolutely recommend them. And no, I am not being paid to say that. I am saying that because I only take their brand if I have to, you know, suggest a vitamin to somebody. Okay. So let's just do a quick rundown of this and then we're going to move forward. Okay. I just absolutely want you guys to be okay. I want you to be healthy. And here's the thing. We are vibrational beings, okay? We are energy. We are vibration. We are energetic beings in a physical body, and that physical body is our vessel. That is sacred. We need to honor our bodies. When you don't honor your body, you get sick, you will suffer. I cannot say it enough. And those that have not gotten sick yet, you will. Mark my words, you will. So, for those of you that eat as healthy as possible, consuming certain foods, you know, and higher vibration foods by choice, I applaud you. But how does one know which foods fall into the high vibrational category, though? That's where people get messed up. Well, high vibration foods give you like an uplifting, positive energy when you eat them. So when we eat high vibrational foods, our energy is high, our life force is strong. We have better focus, we have more emotional balance, and we have tons and tons and tons and tons of energy to handle whatever the day brings. I know this because I used to not know better, and I would eat out of a box, or I would eat out of a can, or I would eat out of a jar. And I fed that crap to my children because I didn't know better. And then once I learned and realized and understood and started eating a whole food diet, I cannot tell you how fast, how quickly I felt better, all the way better. Any fruits and vegetables are very high vibrating, okay? Fresh organic vegetables and fruits that are grown, you know, with clean and sustainable farming practices. And here's the kicker: by the little guys, the people who care, that grow them with love, they're gonna have a higher vibration. Greens, because they grow in an upward, you know, direction, and they collect the energy of the sun. Those are an excellent source of high vibration in food that helps to alkaline the body. We want that. We want to be alkaline, right? So organic whole grains grown in rich soil, as well as dairy and meat products produced without pesticides, hormones, and antibiotics, and certified organic by government certifying agencies, are also considered high vibrational foods. You know, you have your superfoods, you have your raw superfoods. Those are foods that are extra high in nutrients, such as nuts, nutrient dense foods like lacto fermented vegetables and kefir. We're going to get into that in the probiotics in just a minute here. Blueberries, especially blueberries, wheatgrass, barley greens, spirulina, blue-green algae. Those foods are all superfoods, and they alkaline and energize and help clear and balance the body. When you eat raw foods, like when you're eating raw or minimally processed foods, that retains their nutrients and supplies a higher vibration to you when they're consumed. When we're eating that kind of a diet, a high vibrational food diet, we don't need supplements. We don't. We simply don't. If we do need them, it's very minimal. And, you know, if we're getting them from a good source that's a real vitamin, not synthetic, and they don't have fillers, and they only have 1 or 2 ingredients, you know, on the label, you're fine. It's hard to know where to draw the line nowadays, because it's very hard. It's very hard to balance being healthy, because most of the stuff we go out and buy is just not good for us anymore. It's just simply not. And here's the thing. This is something that I forgot to say to you guys. Before I finish, well, okay, hang on. Let me finish talking about the raw high vibrational foods, and then I will explain to you something else that I know about supplements, okay? So let's talk about salt for a minute. You guys, most people go to the store and they buy, you know, the blue round thing of salt. That's what you use for every salt needs in your house. Well, when you're using that, know that it is highly processed. Even though it did come from the earth, its vibrations are gone. There's no vibration left to it. And as a matter of fact, a lot of it's bleached. You're eating just, it's yuck. It's yucky. It's bad for you, okay? But when you eat and consume like the original Himalayan crystal salt or the pink salt, that's not processed. That's just straight pink salt that comes from deep within the earth, you guys. It comes from deep within the earth and from a time when the ecosystem was pristine, right? So the minerals in the salt that are suspended in a crystalline structure, which pink salt is, it makes it easier for them to be absorbed in the body, okay? And they're high vibrational. So natural Celtic sea salt also contains a high amount of nutrients and minerals, and it supplies the body with added energy. It increases your vibration, which heals your body. You can also, if you are a Reiki practitioner or you know somebody that's a Reiki practitioner, holding your hands over your food to energize and activate the enzymes raises their vibration too. Just at a level 1 Reiki degree is enough life force energy to activate foods and bring more energy to them. So even if you are eating something that's really not vibrational, if you can add some life force energy to it before you eat it, at least that helps a little bit, right? So here's another thing. If you are not eating raw cocoa, you need to. The raw form of chocolate, which actually comes in the pod. It's actually the seeds of the cocoa tree. It's known as the food of the gods by the Aztecs. It is one of the most revered of all rainforest foods. Cocoa is estimated to have over 12,000 phytonutrients, minerals, vitamins, and a whole host of high vibrational properties. I personally eat it daily. And I'll tell you, I have noticed a difference in my body since I started taking it. I feel a lot better. But all cocoa derivatives like cocoa nibs, cocoa butter, cocoa powder, they're all effective. Another superfood that's very high vibrational is goji berries. That's a super powerhouse of nutrition, and they are rich in vitamins, antioxidants, amino acids, and multiple nutrients. Any way that you can consume goji berries, as long as they are not processed and it's the real thing, I would suggest that. That's gonna really help your diet, so you don't have to take supplements. Those things really will help. Okay, here's the thing. If you're unable to find or you can't afford to eat like a purely organic diet in lieu of taking supplements, I ask that you please just at least eliminate some of the more problematic chemicals in your diet, okay? MSG, please don't do that to yourself. Foods that are known to be highly laden with pesticides, stop doing that to yourself, you guys, please. So if you buy peaches, apples, bell peppers, celery, nectarines, strawberries, cherries, kale, lettuce, grapes, carrots, pears, just to name a few, in the organic form, they are very high vibrational, as long as they're not full of chemicals. Those will give you pretty much everything you need instead of taking these supplements, okay? So here's one other thing that I need to tell you about supplements before we move on to the probiotics here. Okay, so I want you guys to know and understand that we as a society we do not have a very good system for monitoring herbs, vitamins, supplements, that type of thing, okay? As long as, you know, any kind of herbs that you go and buy from the store or supplements or vitamins, as long as it contains 10% of what it says that it has on the label, it could be labeled as that, okay? So say I want to go buy myself a vitamin E supplement. If it has 10% of vitamin E in it, I can sell it as vitamin E and I can make lots of money if I'm the manufacturer of it. That's not cool. And I'll tell you, it's part of the reason why people think that herbs don't work, because when people go to the store and they're buying herbs and, you know, as a supplement or whatever, and you know, who knows how old the leaves are, if it's a leaf or, you know, a root or whatever it is. Who knows how old they are? You don't know how old it is, and it's not very well regulated. So for an example, as long as the plant name matches closely to what it says it is, and there's 10% of that in there, it can be okay. So if you're buying oregano and say you want to take oregano, you have a cold and you want to get rid of your cold, and somebody told you, well, take some oregano. So you go to your store and you buy oregano and it doesn't work. Well, there could be two reasons why. One is because it only contains 10% oregano and the rest of it is probably like thyme leaves or sweet marjoram or something, you know, that's close to oregano, and the name is close to it, but it doesn't have the same properties, okay? Or it could be that the leaves are very, very old and it's just not regulated well. And I am not telling you this because I'm somebody that supplies these things, but I'm telling you this for your own good. When you buy your herbs and your supplements from the small guys, from the little guys that grow their own herbs, that grow their own plants and make their own supplements, make their own vitamins, like I do, mine, I can tell you, number one, when they're grown with high vibration. They are loved and cared for. The soil is healthy. The plants are healthy. They are harvested at peak times. The plants, I ask them their permission to use them for healing. I thank them. I honor them. When I use them, when they're harvested and they're dried, hand dried, and if they're not used within a year, they get sent out to the compost to get recycled. Okay, they have a shelf life. They're not going to last very long. They're plants. There's no preservatives in them. So if you buy an herbal supplement from somebody like me that grows my own herbs and loves them and honors them and cherishes them, and then the energy is very high, right? Do you think that you're going to get a better result from that, or from one that you go buy at the store where you have no idea where it came from and it was manufactured, so it probably went through a machine, which takes the vibration away to begin with? I don't know. You tell me. You tell me. So anyways, I'm done getting on my bandwagon. I basically want to tell you, if you can help it, get your nutrition from Whole Foods, okay? If you need to do supplements, do your research, be educated on what you're getting, what you're buying, what you're putting in your body, okay? Please. Okay. So, let's move on to probiotics. First of all, before we talk about probiotics, let's talk about the human microbiome. If you haven't heard of the human microbiome before, I'm about to tell you what it is. The human microbiome is our digestive system, pretty much. So most people think of bacteria in the body as the cause of getting sick, or developing certain diseases, right? But did you know that at all times there are actually billions of beneficial bacteria present within all of us? Yep, it's true. In fact, bacteria make up our microbiome, and that is our integral internal ecosystem that benefits our gut health and our immune systems. Okay, so we're really just learning this. The scientific community is really just finding this out in the past, I don't know, 10, 15 years, but um not only are all bacterial not detrimental to our health, but some are actually crucial for boosting our immunities, for keeping our digestive systems running smoothly, our hormone levels balanced, and our brains working properly. Okay, so with that said, each one of us has an internal complex ecosystem of bacteria located in our bodies that we call our microbiome. Okay, our microbiome is a community of microbes. The vast majority of bacterial species that make up our microbiome live in our digestive system. Okay, most of it is in our digestive system. And um, according to the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry at the University of Colorado, the human microbiome consists of 10 to 100 trillion symbiotic microbial cells that are harbored by each person, primarily the bacteria in the gut. Okay, so the human microbiome consists of the genes these cells harbor. So what it can be confusing because it's different than what we had originally suspected. However, what does this mean? Let's put this in layman terms, okay? Um, we're learning that number one, our digestive system is full of bacteria, okay? Which we already knew that, but now we're realizing and we're understanding that we have to have those to be healthy. We're understanding that our digestive system is the heart of our immune systems, okay? Um, Without a healthy, balanced digestive system, your immune system is shot. And that's what we're realizing. That's what we're learning in the last, several years here. So, um, it's very, very important that we keep our microbiomes balanced, okay? If we do not, we will develop what's called leaky gut syndrome and also like different autoimmune diseases. Believe it or not, autoimmune diseases are usually always traced back to the digestive system. Okay. Um, Also, is arthritis, dementia, heart disease, and some of the cancers, um, fertility, longevity. Those things are all also very highly reliant on the balance of the little microorganisms living in your guts. If those are not working well, your body isn't working well. Okay. So throughout our lives, we help shape our microbiomes, right? Plus, our microbiomes and our microbes in our body, they adapt to the changes in our environment. So, for example, the foods you eat, how you sleep, the amount of bacteria you're exposed to on a daily basis, the level of stress you live in, those all help to establish the state of your microbiome. But here's the thing, your diet plays a big role in it, but um, what we're also finding out is that there is a big link to um, you being, when you're born and you go through your mother's, vaginal area, she starts you off with your microorganisms, right? So if your mother does not have a good digestive microbiome, when she gives birth to you, you start out pretty low, okay? And you have a lot of catching up to do, okay? So with all of that said, I don't want to get too much into that. I just want to let you know a couple things. Number one, your microbiome can be affected by, as we all know, antibiotics kill all the good and the bad guys, right? We try to kill the bad guys, but we kill the good guys too. And that just does terrible things to our digestive system. That's the biggest thing that's destroying our digestive systems. But your gut health also impacts how your body extracts nutrients from your diet, how your body stores fats, um, and it plays an important role in obesity, you guys. I'm telling you that it is one of the biggest things we need to be concerned with, more than all these damn supplements everyone thinks they need to be taken. Okay. So it also helps to lower inflammation. So what can we do? How can we balance these gut bacteria, this microbiome? Well, we can stay away from foods that promote inflammation. That is a big part of it. Stay away from refined vegetable oils like canola, corn, soybean. You know, those are all high in inflammatory markers. Like they make inflammation happen because your body doesn't know what to do with them. Okay. You should stay away from pasteurized dairy products because the pasteurization in dairy products is what kills the bacteria, right? That's why we pasteurize, so that we can kill the bacteria so we don't get sick from them. But what we don't realize is when we drink milk that isn't pasteurized, we're getting the probiotics we need to keep our microbiomes healthy, right? So we want to try to stay away from pasteurized things if we can. And like trans fats, those are horrible too. Those are horrible, horrible, horrible for our microbiome. So how do we get the probiotics we need in our lives? Okay, I'm going to give you some probiotic foods that you can eat. And then we're going to talk about probiotic supplements. But first of all, you know, if you've been listening to me so far, you know that I am very, very, very much all about doing things through food rather than supplements if we can help it. So, probiotics are live microorganisms that have health benefits when consumed. These are usually beneficial bacteria that serve some function in the body, right? So probiotics have all sorts of powerful benefits for your body and your brain, and they absolutely improve digestive health. So yogurt, as we all know, yogurt is one of the best sources of probiotic, which is friendly bacteria to improve your health. Yogurt is made from milk that has been fermented by friendly bacteria, mainly lactic acid bacteria and bifidobacteria. Those are two of the main kinds of probiotics, okay? So that's a really good way. Kefir is another way. That's a fermented probiotic milk drink. It's a little bit thick. And while yogurt is probably the best known probiotic food in the Western diet, kefir is also a very good source. Contains several major strains of friendly bacteria and yeast, so it makes it a very potent probiotic. Okay. Sauerkraut, as we know, most of us know that. Tempeh. Um, the bottom line is this. The more you eat that's probiotics, the better off you're going to be. Okay. There's a thing called kombucha, and it's a fermented black or green tea drink. And it's a popular tea that's, it has a friendly colony of bacteria in it. Is consumed by many parts of the world, especially Asia. Um, it is kind of hard to choke down. You can make it yourself though. So it's not, the end of the world, but it's a little bit hard to get down sometimes. Pickles are another good fermented food. I mean, you guys, fermented foods, that's really where it's at, okay?